the questions one of you had asked me today was about Vulcan versus Mojo. In fact, he deserves a shout out here. Let me just see if I can pull it up. Alexander, shout out to Alexander Davila 2948. Question, have you used Vulcan 7? Yes, I have. And if you have, do you like Mojo better than Vulcan 7? Absolutely. Primarily having to do with the fact that I can do 2-line dialer, even triple line dialer. I recommended take a look at all my other lives. You'll see sometimes, for the most part, I do double line. Last time I did triple line, which I believe was Saturday. Today, I'm going to do triple line dialer so you guys can see. Now, big note to take. I use my Ethernet cable. I don't dial on the Wi-Fi. From my experience, if you call on the Mojo dialer, and especially if you are doing the triple line dialer on Mojo on Wi-Fi, you will experience lag time and the person on the other end will get frustrated with you. And to just prove or show, not prove, show to Alexander Davila 2848 with the differences in terms of pickup rates, how many conversations you can have in such a short period of time. And I also say strategically, you can also do single line dialer. I would only recommend if you're doing that for like just listed, just sold. And if you have like a fresh list, and if you really want to target to make sure that you try every single possible, make sure that you actually get a hold of everyone, especially if you want to have like a name for yourself, like if it's a neighborhood, if it's a building, if it's like your gated community, then you want a single line dial and make sure that you don't lose any opportunities. In fact, end of last year, I had a sale in a building. I did the single line dialer. I went through that list twice, single line, right? Because I wanted to make sure if they picked up that I got to speak to them. After the 2 attempts on a single line dialer, and it was like 4, after I went through it twice, I then sat here crazy. I hand dialed or hand texted, whatever, all the other remaining people who still had cell phones that I knew were not like a wrong number. Like this guy was a wrong number. So if that had happened, I would have deleted it. And I went through it. I was actually able to pick up 7 leads through texting in addition. But I just want you to know that with Mojo, I switch it up. I do single, I do double, I do triple, and right now I'm doing triple. So I just wanted to answer that for anybody because I did get a question and people have asked me before, and I thought, you know what, let me just clear the air. Let me just show. No joke, I'm behind on like the amount of calls because I've taken so many listings and been so busy. I'm debating, and I think I might just do like a full-on marathon for my business. See, she was so nice. Always have fun, be friendly, be professional, be cordial. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to do like a marathon Friday, Saturday. So I'll go ahead and announce that so you guys can see. I think I'm going to be crazy and try and do like 1,000 calls and see how many leads I get just to see if I can play catch up. Hey, Jennifer. So nice. Thank you so much for joining. I don't know if the two of you were here earlier, but I was just discussing like the difference between the single line dialer, the double line dialer, and the triple line dialer. And forgive me, I'm still eating these Ricolas. I was sick. I got better, thank goodness, but so much, not just from cold calling, but also from business. That's like my vocal cords are hurting. But anyways, I was going to say, I like to use the different levels of the, whether it's single, double, or triple strategically. This evening, I'm doing the triple line dialer just to show you guys what it's like and how fast it can be. But you have to be careful when you do the triple line dialer because it can cause some lag time. So therefore, I recommend doing the Ethernet cable for today. All right, so I'm already at 28 calls. This is going to go fast with the triple line. If you've been watching me for a while, you've already seen me doing the double line. And I've been on the double line a lot. And I want to say doing the double line takes me an hour for 100 conversations or 100 calls. But on the triple line dialer, it looks like it's going to be a lot faster than that. So that's what we're doing today. I'm showing you the difference in the triple line versus the double line. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have 2 conversations already in 10 minutes. And they both said no, and that's fine. Like, sometimes I feel, and this is something that we've discussed in our group, is the faster we can get all these no's out of the way, all these people going no, 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 you eventually bump into that person and goes yes. And then it's kind of surprising, like, oh my God, someone just said yes. And then you get excited, of course. But then you have to start the nurture process. So this one gentleman I had texted, he was the one who had complimented me and had said something about, like, I'm very impressed with what you got going on. I had sent him a message and said, hey, I went ahead and sent him a market update of the activity that's happening in his building. If you don't have any condos in your area, and maybe it's a house in a neighborhood, set up market reports for these leads. Listen, if you have 20 leads in a month, it's not hard to do 20 market updates. Save them in your matrix or flex. I use flex. I don't do matrix. Those are like the MLS systems. Everybody has different ones depending where state you're located in. But in mine, once I have a lead, once I've nurtured them and it's like a few months in, then I'll start warming them up with market reports so they know, like, and trust me, professional. So I just want to point out, the lady who called me to tell me I won, it was so funny. Today I was recording my day in the life, and I was actually recording me following up with her. And then she ended up calling me. And I wish I could show you the video, but I'm using the phone. So you're going to have to watch that day in life. I don't know when I'm going to put it out. I'm a little crazy with working a lot, but you capture me. I'm like seriously sitting here at my desk in this place, and I'm like following up with her, and she called, and I had her on speakerphone, and she's like, hi, how are you? I'm like, good. How are you? She's like, good. And she goes, well, I just want to let you know you win. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, actually, I didn't tell you, but I interviewed 3 other agents. And I'm like, oh, well, very nice. That doesn't really happen to me. But she goes, you won. One of the reasons I won, because I followed up with her for a year, and she specifically said, Adela, that handwritten note card that you sent me really stuck out. She said, don't stop doing that. It worked. I liked it. And I told her, I'm like, well, I have followed up with you for a year. She goes, yes. And we really appreciate it. It just goes to show how hardworking you can be when you're constantly following up with someone for so long. And it's $1 million condo. So yeah, I mean, if it's just the type of conversations you have with people, the level of professionalism, the way you come across, just seems like you are a true real estate agent when you circle prospect, compared to a new agent who's trying to convince a FSBO. Okay, how many calls have we done so far? Oh my God, 54 calls already? Dang, this is the triple line dialer. I normally do 100 in an hour on the double line. Okay, this is why I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, 3 conversations, 54 calls, and I said I was going to do 100. Oh my God. 100 is going to be 30 minutes, and that's not enough. I need let's keep dialing. Let's keep dialing. Actually, you know what? While I wait, I'm going to see if I can answer some of these questions, because a lot of people on YouTube right now who watch me, they watch one video and ask a question. Somebody else watches another video, asks a question. Obviously you guys can't see the questions that each of you are asking. So I'd rather give that answer to everyone. Let's see here. Let's do some shout outs. Now how do I do this from here? View all. Oh, shout out to David Friss. This was 4 hours ago. He said, is it best to have a second phone so you can drop the call if it's a weirdo and not have to worry about them calling you back? LOL to that, as my children say, lol. So yes, I have two phones, as you can tell. This is my personal, this is my work. This is my local area code number for strategic purposes. Because every time I had my personal, and people would always comment, "Oh, out of state area code, like how long have you been here?" And then it just started discrediting me. And because I originally come from California, but I've been here for a little over 5 years now. And so I had decided to just get a separate phone number, 954, and then it was really confusing. So I was like, I'm just going to get two phones. But then once I started circle prospecting, I realized so I can call from this. So my personal from out of state, and then my work from local. So I do call from my personal, but I can call from here, like outbound, like Mojo. But the phone number that I actually have for the callback number that gets rerouted is to my personal. So people, like, say I'm calling someone and they want to call me back, I on Mojo Dialer, I have the callback number rerouted to this one, the out of state number. So if this one has a number that I don't have saved in my contacts, I just don't answer it. I won't say I never answer, because I do answer for strategic purposes, which I'll share with you in a moment, but I don't want to confuse you. Wow, we're going really fast here. So I already have 4 conversations in 21 minutes, and I've already dialed 75. Oh my God. Triple line dollars, no joke. Let me finish I have the callback number to this one. Okay. So if there's a weirdo, like David Frizz said, yes, I can just hang up, but I also have my phone, this one where I'm dialing from, on do not disturb. So it doesn't, like, if they do come in, I'm not distracted or bothered by it. Okay, with him, I just kind of waited a little to see if he'd be like, what are you calling me about? So yes, if they do call back, it goes to here. Then I know if somebody calls me on my work cell, I always answer, even if it's a number I don't recognize, because it's business. So I do like to keep them that way, separate, because the problem was when I first started with Mojo, I was having all the numbers redirected to this one. And so I was constantly answering. And I was like, thank you for calling. This is Adela speaking. How may I help you? And they're like, did you call me? I was like, oh, crap. That was from my calling session earlier today. So I have everyone redirected to this one. Now, strategically, if you're still hanging on. Oh, hey, Sergio, you asked a question. Sorry, I just saw. Let's see. What do you consider a contact, by the way, as soon as they give you permission to ask your question? As soon as I know that the person I'm talking to is one of the owners of the property, that's a contact. So no, if they're like, no, they don't give me permission, that's totally fine. That's a conversation, as long as I know 100% that that owner is the one on the other end. If they just answer and hang up and I never heard anything, which happens, I don't even consider that a contact, because I don't know who's on the other end. Or if it's like a relative, like that Colton guy and the dad answered, I'm like, nope, not the owner. Goodbye, not a contact. So yeah, I mean, if you ask me about pickups, like if I have 7 conversations, I probably spoke to 16 people, but 11 were wrong. And then out of that 7, I might have a lead or something. Because I know one day, which was a lot, I did 100 conversations, not just cold calls, conversations. And it took me from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and I got 8 leads that day. So it was pretty exciting. And I kind of have to play catch up. So I think I'm going to do that, because the month of March is ending and I have to meet my goal. Where are we at? So I've already done, I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the title was 100 cold calls. I've already passed that. I'm at 113 with 6 conversations. And this is the triple line dialer, and it's 32 minutes to give you perspective. Like, it was an experience. I remember just mentally and physically being exhausted for 72 hours afterward. I just like laid in bed for 2 days, the first 48 hours. And I told my husband, I was like, I can't get up. Everybody leave me alone. It was intense. No, I was going to say, I do have 6 conversations so far. I've actually already done over 100 calls, like, because the triple line dialer goes through so many numbers. I got an offer on another listing. I still have to tell the seller. I'm like, I don't even have time to tell you we got an offer. I already hit 100 calls. I'm actually doing the triple line dialer. You've seen me do the double line dialer. So when you do the triple, it definitely speeds things up along here. I am at 133 calls actually, and 7 conversations in and 0 leads. So just to give you perspective, the triple line dialer moves very fast. Oh, you know what? So I was at the store earlier today with my husband doing some last minute shopping, and the lady was like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And we said real estate. Oh yeah, so Sergio, he shout out to Sergio Ratana 99, who's also on here. He had actually asked if I call expires and also or just circle prospect. So I've been circle prospecting like for a very long time now. Like if you can afford to like start slow, maybe they have a part-time job, full-time job, or a support or whoever, like just start circle and then it just starts taking off like this. No gatekeeping. Gatekeeping doesn't help whatsoever. I'm like, here you go. This is what I do. Take it. Enjoy. I mean, number one, I'm not competition to anybody. Like we're all the country, you know? And even I have friends who are realtors here in Fort Lauderdale, and we have such a beautiful, abundant mindset that even though we do our own real estate in the same city, we don't feel like we're competition to one another because there are just so many people to help and serve, especially when you circle prospect. Well, that was very nice. But that is not a contact in my book because he said he did not own anything. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, I mean, I've talked about the handwritten note card many times. I got the magnet business card. If I do even send out 25 in a month, 25 note cards is not a lot. Oh, and then I was like, okay, have a good evening, sir. And then he like stayed on the line and then I muted him. I'm like, this is weird. Now he won't even hang up. I just hung up on him. So I actually already hit, I was supposed to do 100 calls. I did 201. The double line dialer, I get like 237 in 2 hours. Like sometimes singles great. And it also depends day and time. And then triple line dialer, because I actually only got 11 conversations. And that's on the triple line, which is actually why I like the double line dialer. I feel like it doesn't burn through as many, but single line can be great too. And I've told everyone, like, if you're starting off, just start with a single line dialer, get your number to have some kind of reputation going with the cell phone carriers rather than throwing it into the triple line when you're starting. Wait, David, how do you not let interest rates and fire insurance issue not distract you from calling? Because we look for people who are going to still want to sell regardless of what's going on around in the world. In fact, I have to go because I have to do dinner. So thank you guys.